Hey, happy Sunday evening. If you're watching live, happy Sunday evening. If you're watching the rebroadcast, I have no idea what day it is. For me, it's been a great Sunday evening, and I know it's not over yet, but it's just been a really low-key weekend for us, which has been lovely. Did some fun projects with the kids today and played outside a lot because it's beautiful here. And now I'm just getting some work stuff wrapped up. My husband gave me the rest of the evening off, which was lovely. So he's hanging out and getting the kids in bed, which is always delightful. But Sunday evenings for me have not always been great. In fact, for a long time, Sunday evenings were probably my least favorite night of the week, which is sort of embarrassing and sad, but it was true. That's why I hopped on here, because I think there are probably some other people that are in a similar boat. And so I have for you 3 reasons why starting my own business has really reclaimed Sunday evenings for me and turned them around in every way. But first, let me introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Jen Petro. I'm the owner of Dropleaf Communications, which is a marketing communications company here in Indianapolis. And I also teach female entrepreneurs how to start and launch businesses. In fact, in less than a month, which is hard to believe, I have a 12-week Build Your Dream Business online course launching just for women. So that's really exciting. So anyway, my Sunday evenings, like I said, they were just never good. I mean, for the most part, they were just filled with kind of this kind of glum sort of mourning the fact that the weekend was almost over, and so just this sort of sadness around that, I guess, but also kind of stewing about the week ahead. And it became this thing, and I kind of joked and I called it the Sunday night blues. And so I would kind of feel the Sunday night blues setting in, you know, in the late afternoons, early evening on Sundays. And my husband and I used to joke, we called it PMS, pre-Monday syndrome. So I suffered with pre-Monday syndrome for many, many, many years. But I realized a couple years ago that that had really shifted, and all of a sudden Sunday nights were, not only were they not a bummer like they had been for so long, but they were the opposite. They were really fun, and I was enjoying the rest of the weekend, and I was usually really excited and amped up about the week ahead before it even came. And so, in fact, this Sunday night is a great example of that, where I've been sitting here kind of looking at my calendar for next week and kind of blocking everything out, and I have so many fun things that I'm doing through my business and outside of my business that I'm just so excited about it. It just makes it so much more fun. But like I said, it wasn't always that way. It really shifted when I started my own business. And so I've been kind of just thinking through that and try to process it, and I came up with 3 specific reasons why I feel like starting my own business specifically changed that for me. And the first one is probably the biggest one. The first reason is just taking control of your own calendar. And so for me, feeling empowered and in control of my own calendar is huge. And so, you know, I think back to the jobs I had, where even great jobs that I had, jobs that I loved, but I was working 8 to 5 kind of typical jobs, and my week was really at the whim of other people. So my week was largely determined, my work week was largely determined by my coworkers, my boss, in terms of, you know, what meetings I had to attend, what projects I got to work on or not work on. You know, it was structured by other people. And so when I started my own business, just that freedom of being able to craft my days the way I want to has been huge. And so that could be something as simple as, you know, I used to be a real morning person, and so I always tackled big projects in the morning. And you know, you hear a lot of people that's the best time for them to work. But over the last year or so, specifically, for whatever reason, I've become really productive in the afternoons. And so I like to sometimes have really slow going mornings where I'm in my PJs with the kids, or I'm relaxing, or just doing smaller projects or whatever, and then hitting hard in the afternoon some larger projects or big deadlines. For me, that's just been something a little shift I can make because it works better. Or even in the evenings, there are times where I do my best work sometimes after the kids are in bed, and I'm able just to carve out that time to knock out a project or whatever. But I really just the fact that I feel like I'm master of my own calendar, so to speak, is huge. I mean, that just brings a freedom. It brings just a feeling of like settledness, that I'm able to prioritize my work and my personal life in a way that gives me balance and energy and just positivity. And so I would say that that is the number one reason why Sunday nights have turned around for me. Just being able to look ahead to the week and craft my own schedule. That is something that I don't take for granted at all. I would say the second reason why starting a business changed that for me is that I'm able to spend more time in the weeks ahead with the people that I love and the people who inspire me. And so obviously family is huge here. It's a huge part of why I even started a business, to find more balance and be able to just prioritize my family in a different way. So that's huge, being able to, for example, I look ahead and look at kids' activities that are going on, or just things I want to do with the kids. We're going to the Children's Museum tomorrow, just being able to choose those things and make them a priority when I can is amazing, and has been just a huge gift in my life and in my family's life. Again, something I don't take for granted. And then I would say too, outside of my family members, I have found a huge gift of owning my own business is being able to make time for other people. So make time for people who inspire me, who build me up, who I can learn from and grow from. Also people I can pour into. Even something as simple as just being able to be more generous with my time is easier when I have a flexible schedule like this. So stopping by in the middle of the day to see a friend who's sick or struggling or whatever it might be, but just being able to really make those kinds of things a priority. It's really hard. I mean, you can do those things when you have a typical job. You can certainly make time for those things, but it's so much harder to kind of fit them in. And so for me, I am very intentional about looking at my calendar and seeing how I can work in those coffees with certain people or get-togethers or whatever it might look like, of just being able to surround myself with people who are encouraging, inspiring, who like I said, who I can grow from, learn from, and who I can pour into as well. That has been just a huge, huge shift since owning my own business. And so that is just, one of my favorite parts of it. So I would say the third reason then that starting my own business has turned Sunday nights around is along the same vein as the second one, but for me, that's all about activities. So it's about being able to fill my weeks and my days with activities that are life-giving and soul-filling. And this is something I did not do or pay attention to for years and years and years. So it kind of falls into the camp of self-care. You hear people talk about how important self-care is, that you have to fill yourself up and be able to serve others well and to love others well. And that is so true. And for years and years and years, I ignored this. To the detriment of myself and everybody around me. And so this is something, again, that I've had to be really intentional about, especially at the beginning, because it just didn't feel natural. But I do things each week that I know will be life-giving to me. And that can be something simple, like building in time to go for walks during the day, get those creative juices going. Or if I hit a roadblock when I'm working on a project, having the freedom to just get up and go for a walk, pop in the headphones and just be for a while. Could also be something like just reading a book in the middle of the day, or taking a break to do some yoga, or get on the phone with somebody I really want to catch up with. It looks different for everybody. In fact, I would love, whether you're watching this live or the rebroadcast, I'd love for you to leave a comment. Just tell me what some of those activities are for you. For some people it's drawing or playing a musical instrument, or it can be anything. Exercise. For me it's not exercise, I'll just be honest. I wish it were. Does yoga count? I think yoga should count as exercise. The way I do it, it probably doesn't. But anyway, that just has been a huge shift for me, just being able to make sure that I have self-care built into my weeks. It not only gives me things to look forward to, which is always great. For me, that's important to have kind of little, I don't want to say rewards, but they kind of are little rewards built into the week. But it's also just a way to kind of get filled back up when you're working so hard and just a lot of pressure sometimes, and life gets crazy. And so it's really important to take care of yourself in that way. So that's huge. But anyway, so those are the 3 reasons that I think Sunday nights for me have turned around to be one of my favorite nights of the week. And I'm not kidding. That is completely the truth. They're optimistic and they're relaxed, and there's just so much to be thankful for. And so, you know, if you're hearing me talk about this right now and it sounds great, but you're thinking, you know, you aren't equipped to start a business or anything like that, I just want to challenge your thinking if you happen to fall into that camp, and remind you, if you haven't heard my story already, that when I launched my business, Drop Leaf Communications, years ago, I had 0 business background. I had 0 business training. I knew nothing about starting a business. And I was able to launch it as this little side gig and turn it into a full-blown business that has supported my family of 5 for years. And so I just want to encourage you that you do not have to be a business-minded person to succeed at this. And, you know, I had to learn the hard way. I spent months and months researching how to start a business and soaking up wisdom from everything I could, from podcasts to books to sitting across the table from business experts and asking a million questions and probably driving them crazy. But, you know, I spent hours and hours trying to figure out how to do it, and it was really hard. But I've been thinking, you know, over the past year, how could I simplify this process? How could I streamline it to help other women start businesses? I have had a heart for that for a long time now, and so I'm really excited that in less than a month I'm going to launch that online course, that Build Your Dream Business in 12 weeks. It's going to be step by step, week by week, coming alongside women, teaching them how to start a business, launch a business, market a business, run a business. It's going to be so much fun. So there'll be live teaching each week online, and then there'll be a private Facebook group where we can interact and ask questions and things like that. And so I'm really excited, but the deadline is September 7th. Eek! So it's going to be here before you know it. So if this is something you're interested in, I would urge you to go to jenpetro.com. Everything about the course is on that page. It's got everything broken down week by week, so you can kind of see the topics that are going to be covered. There's also a sign-up form, so you can sign up right there on the page. If this is not for you, but you know somebody who this might be a really good fit for, I would just ask you to share this video. That would be great. I would so appreciate that. Or you could tag them in the comments, and that way they'll get a heads up about it and be able to find out more about it. So I could not be more excited. I mean, it's just going to be a blast, and I would love to see other people's Sunday evenings get turned around, and it's just a life-changing thing. I mean, I've said this before, but for me, starting a business was hands down one of the best decisions I ever made for myself and for my family, and there was just no going back, no looking back, for sure. So anyway, I'm gonna hop back off and maybe help get the kids in bed if they're not in bed already. It's awful quiet up here, so I'm suspecting they're still downstairs. But I hope everybody has a good rest of the evening, and stay tuned. I will be on here 2 times this week for 2 of the things I'm so excited about. I'm going to interview 2 crazy talented, crazy awesome female entrepreneurs on Facebook Live this week. So I'm doing one of them on Thursday afternoon, and one of them's Tuesday afternoon around 4, and then one of them is on Thursday around lunchtime. So I hope you can catch that. So let's talk to you later, guys. Bye.